Right guys, welcome back. Day 3, tracking job costs. This is all about building on the foundation that we're setting for you guys of pricing worked correctly. You've got a clear profit margin added onto the jobs, but you've then got to track the job costs. All right, I'm giving you all the tools you're going to need before we get into the jazzy stuff of actually getting the right clients, delivering it and worrying about all that shit. We're getting all the right stuff done at the front end. So you've got all of these tools for life. If you use these and actually put these systems and processes in place, you will earn a fucking fortune just by doing things right. Okay, I've learned the hard way myself. Trust me, we are building on a solid fucking foundation. So day 3 is all about making sure that you keep your profits, because anyone can price a job and go, yeah, there's 20 grand profit on that job. But if you've underestimated it or you've overestimated it or someone's gone wrong on site and you're not tracking the jobs, how are you supposed to know? And most people don't know. From the experience I've got of meeting with people and working on their business and drilling into the numbers, it all gets fucking lost the minute that you've won the job and it all gets put behind. So you've got to develop the skill of tracking job costs. There's no point winning work and pricing it with a margin on and then losing it as you run the job, because you're just a busy fool and you're never ever going to get to a point of making 10k net per month, which is what we're trying to do. That's the goal. But it's not just that, it's way beyond that as well. So I'm giving you absolutely everything that you need to succeed, and we're doing it in a logical order. And look, this is where trade and construction businesses fuck up. So if you just take my one thing out of this and don't fuck up on this, you are going to be ahead of most of the other businesses out there. Most companies fuck this up. Even big companies fuck this up. So don't be the company or the trade, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is. You can be decorating, electrical, carpentry, whatever it is that you are, whatever your business does. These are the same sound business principles that you want to follow. Don't fuck this up. It's very, very important, okay? Now, recap from day 2. You now know from yesterday how to price work correctly. I've given you the tools, I've given you the sheets. You must price it with that 3-bucket method in mind. Materials, labour, plant, and then you add on a clear profit margin on top of that, which is going to be your gross profit. And then obviously once you take out your overheads, your expenses that we looked at on day 1, you're going to be left with a net profit of the 10k goal that we're aiming for. But like I say, it's the same system to go and scale the business as big as you like from this point. And it's just getting very, very clear on that, so you know exactly where you are with your money. Now, you make money when you price. You understood that from yesterday. But now as we move into tracking costs, we know you make your money when you price, but you lose it by not tracking. And you lose it by not running the jobs to how you price them. Because if you've allowed, let's say, 10 days of labour for one task of work, whatever it is, and it takes 12, again, that money's coming from your bottom line. Now, construction, we all know that no job runs perfectly. No job will run exactly to how you said it was going to be, to the penny. But if you know you've gone over on one element of work, so let's say a bit of labour, you can then start looking at other elements of the job and go, well, where can we pull that money back? And this is the art of project management. This is the art of running a business in the construction industry, is making things work. And only when you track can you see if you're ahead, you're behind, have you overspent on something, have you underspent on something, have you got money elsewhere to accommodate for certain problems that might have come up that aren't variations as such, which we'll get into variations as a separate video on a separate day. But unless you're tracking it, you don't know how the job's going. You never ever want to be in the dark running a job and going, well, let's see what we make at the end, because you never fucking see. You never know, because it's impossible to go back. It's impossible to go back and look through the banks and go, well, was that for this job? Was that for that job? Was that for this job? Especially as you scale the company. So you've got to track them as you go. Tracking costs protects your profit margin. So do not underestimate this stage of training, what we're going through. Tracking costs protects your margin. And what did I say? Your profit margin is the most important number. It is your business. So it is your lifeline. That's like not having a heart attack. It's as serious as this in a business sense. And this is what I really want to make you guys come from. Fuck the 10k target that this is what the plan and the program's for. I actually want to make you into fucking solid business people. And it's that classic thing of teach a man to catch a fish and you'll never go starving again. And that's what I want to do, okay? But tracking costs sharpens your axe either way, because a lot of people actually dodge tracking costs because they don't actually want to know. Sometimes you know when a job's gone tits up, you don't want to know the reality. But reality is good, it keeps your feet on the ground, and you can win both ways, because if you've underpriced a job, you learn for next time. so you price better the next time. But if you never track, you're never going to know, and you're never going to learn from it. You know, making a mistake is okay in business, but making the same mistake over and over again is fucking stupid and fucking painful, and that's what I want to stop you from doing. So if you underprice it, okay, take it on the chin, you learn from the next one and you sharpen your axe. Not a problem, you've learned the lesson. But if you've overpriced it, you learn for next time as well, because what you don't want is you price an element of work, let's say, and let's say again you've allowed 10 days, but it's taking you 3 days. You are not being competitive with your pricing, and that's when you're actually just taking, not the piss, but you're not pricing accurately. You want to be pricing as accurate as possible all the time, that's realistic, like we said before on yesterday's video and training on, you know, allow what times it takes to do a job. But if you're overestimating, and then you can create a problem down the line where you're not winning as much work because you are expensive, because you've just got too much fat in the price. Regardless of the profit added on, the price and the cost to you is wrong at the start. So you don't lose by tracking. You never ever lose by tracking costs. There's only positives to get from tracking costs, because what gets measured gets improved. Only when you measure can you improve it. And for me, that's a bit like stepping on the scales. You know when you've been a fat fucker and you've overeaten, you want to dodge the scales. Tracking is a bit like that in your business. When you know if you're on it with the money and you're on it with the numbers, if you're measuring it, it gets improved all the time. So it's just a fundamental that I really want to drill into you, especially as we're in like week 1 of this program with the 10K toolbox. I want week 1 just to set you up for absolute fucking success. Like there's no grey areas, there's no stone unturned. We've done it in the right fucking way. Now, the easy way to track is building on how we started pricing work yesterday, the either basic job costing sheet or the advanced job costing sheet. That is set up for tracking. It's set up ready to go for you. The areas in blue, which we'll go into today in the videos below this, show you how to use that. It's set up to be dead easy, and that's why I wanted to get you on that system and using my tools basically. The hard way is using scrap bits of paper, jotting stuff down on the go when you're busy, using a diary, a notebook. And the things I used to do, I've actually written this because I wanted to just share with you guys and understand where I come from, was writing and scribbling receipts on bits of cardboard that you tore off on site, and then you stuck in the van on the dashboard, and it's a fucking mess. You can't work like that. You have to track costs regularly and just get it into a daily process of running jobs. So if you're running a fairly complicated job, a bigger job, an extension, a full house refurb, you really want to be tracking costs daily, and just log on to that spreadsheet every single day, update it. When you've committed to cost, you've ordered something, you've spent money somewhere, track the costs. If you're running more simple jobs and it's literally just like one trade, it's, you know, a 6 weeks job, you can check in once a week and just track the jobs. And I like to do that on a Friday morning, go through all the jobs and just track the costs on the jobs. So you know where you are, you go into the weekend with clarity, and you just know the jobs are working. Even if you think you've got it in your head, if it's on the sheet, this is what's going to equally allow you to set you up to be able to get an admin person in to help you out, and it's all visible, it's easy. You've got a system, you've got a process set up there to work. So, the action steps for you today. Watch the videos below. You've got the basic or the advanced on how to use the tracking part of that sheet that I've given you. Continue with the pricing sheet and track your jobs going forward. Make it a non-negotiable, and this is point 3, make the commitment from now to track your jobs daily and weekly. Now, if you're halfway through a big job and you haven't tracked it, it might be difficult, but what I would recommend is if you have, and you can, and you've got the work ethic to go back and do that, I would actually track back a job that you've already started if you're in that position. But equally, if you're about to start a job next week or coming up in the next couple of days, recost it on my pricing sheet and then track it from now. Like, get going now. Don't wait to use it. Get going with what you've got. And obviously, your pricing jobs now on the new sheets and the new system is going to be easy to start tracking and going ahead. And that's going to really open your eyes, because if you've priced a job with, let's say, 20% margin on, and at the end of it you actually made 25, you know you've made more profit on that particular job. Or if it's 15% or 10% or fucking 5% and you haven't made money, you're going to understand why, because you've tracked it, and then you go, we fucked up on this, this and this, but we did well on this. Next time we won't, and then that problem won't arise again. And this is just what the art of just being good at business is, all right? So tracking jobs is a money-making exercise. I want to make that very, very clear. As a business owner, You want to be spending your times on money-making exercises, and this is one of them. Doesn't matter whether you're still on the tools, you're busy in the day. I get it. You've got to make the time to do this shit. Like, I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. Like, if you are on the tools and you're still doing everything, this is the responsibility of running a business, and you just got to get through it. And that's why the quicker we can get you profitable, we can get you off the tools. Even if it's half on the tools, half in the office, you've got the time to be doing this. You've got to go through that grind period. But equally, if you're already off the tools, you're already running your business and you're off it, this is what you need to be spending your time on. This is one of your key tasks that you have to do. And we will drill into that later in the program. I will basically map out for you the key stuff you guys need to be doing based on the problems you've got, where you want to get to, and the gaps you've got. Going, right, if you do this, this, and this every day, or once a week or twice a week, whatever it's going to end up being, it's impossible to fail. And that's where I really want to get you to point. Okay? If you don't track, you don't know, which means you're a shit business person. Okay? Just being very real with you guys. I am real as fuck. I've got no interest in just you guys just doing this program and going, oh, okay, that was nice, but it didn't really work. I want this to fucking work. But it only works if you do and you listen to what I'm saying. So if you don't, you're going to be a shit business person. But if you do, I guarantee you'll be a good business person. And just to finish off, look, think about whatever sport you're into. Whether you're into football, rugby, F1, fucking dominoes, whatever you're into, all the best teams in the world, what's the first thing they do after a game, a match, a race, whatever? They review and they check. They go through every little detail. I particularly like F1 at the minute. I've got back into it. They're analysing every single little thing about that race. If you're into football, they re-watch the game. They look who played the best, who didn't, what worked well. This is what a business is as well. It's the same as sport. It's the same things, the same skills that transfer, so you can relate to it, all right? So I hope that's useful. Watch the videos below, and I'll see you tomorrow on day 4.